You may have noticed it at some point in your life, that confusing moment when anger rises in your chest, but tears arrive instead. It can feel almost contradictory, as if your own emotions are quietly disagreeing with each other. Anger is usually imagined as something sharp and loud, something that pushes outward, something that fills a room. Yet for many people, anger does not explode. It softens, trembles, and leaks through the eyes. This is often misunderstood, especially by the person experiencing it. They might wonder why their body reacts this way, why their voice tightens, why their eyes burn when what they feel inside is not sadness, but heat. And still, the tears come. This is how crying when you are angry begins to shape a person's understanding of themselves, sometimes long before they even realize it. If you look closely at early life, you can sometimes trace this response back to small, almost invisible moments. A child becomes upset, maybe frustrated, maybe hurt, maybe overwhelmed by a feeling they do not yet have words for. Their body reacts first. The throat tightens, the eyes water. Not because they have decided to cry, but because their nervous system does not separate anger from vulnerability yet. To a child, strong emotion is simply strong emotion. It arrives as one wave, not labeled, not sorted. And if the environment around them responds to anger with discomfort or punishment or silence, the child may quietly learn that anger is not safe to show openly. Over time, that lesson does not disappear. It settles. It becomes a pattern that does not announce itself. The child grows, their vocabulary expands, their responsibilities increase, but their body still remembers what it learned before logic arrived. So when anger surfaces later in life, the body may still reach for the response it once used to survive that feeling. Tears are not chosen, they are remembered. Sometimes people who cry when angry feel embarrassed about it, especially in adulthood. They may apologize while it is happening, even though they have done nothing wrong. They might turn away, cover their face, or try to laugh it off. Inside, though, there is often a quiet confusion. They might think, "This is not what I meant to show," because what they meant to show was frustration, or disappointment, or hurt pride. But what others see is moisture in the eyes, a trembling voice, a softness that can be mistaken for weakness. This misunderstanding can slowly shape how they see themselves. What is interesting is that anger and tears are not opposites. They are neighbors. Both are strong signals from the nervous system. Both are responses to something that feels important, unfair, or overwhelming. Anger is often a boundary emotion. It appears when something feels crossed or threatened. Tears, on the other hand, often appear when the body senses intensity it cannot easily release. When these two meet, the result is not conflict, it is overflow. Sometimes you may not even notice the moment when anger turns into tears. It happens quietly. A conversation becomes tense, a sentence lands harder than expected, a memory stirs underneath the surface, and suddenly the chest tightens, the eyes sting, the voice shifts. The person may still feel angry, but their body has decided that crying is the safest way to release the pressure building inside. This is how crying when you are angry can become a pattern that feels mysterious, even to the person living it. In childhood, emotional expression is shaped by observation more than instruction. A child watches how adults react to anger. Do they shout, withdraw, stay calm, or become distant? Do they allow anger to exist, or do they try to shut it down quickly? If a child senses that anger makes others uncomfortable, they may begin to redirect it inward. Tears become a softer language, one that feels less likely to cause rejection. The child does not think this consciously, it simply becomes their emotional reflex. And yet, crying during anger is not always about fear or suppression. Sometimes it is about depth. Some people feel emotions more intensely, not because they are fragile, but because they are perceptive. They notice tone changes, facial expressions, pauses, small shifts in energy. Their awareness gathers details others might miss. When anger appears in someone like this, it rarely arrives alone. It brings disappointment, hurt, and reflection with it. Tears are not replacing anger. They are accompanying it. In adult life, this pattern can show up in relationships in subtle ways. During disagreements, one person may speak firmly while the other begins to cry. The crying person may still feel angry, still have thoughts they want to express, but their tears interrupt their words. The conversation shifts focus. Instead of discussing the issue, attention moves to the tears. The person crying might feel misunderstood, as if their real message has been lost. This is one of the quiet social effects of crying when you are angry. The emotion is real, but its expression changes how others interpret it.